I want to increase bookings and decrease cost per booking. That is why a large number of you are here today. It was about 4 years ago that I first discovered the hurdles faced by the transport industry. In initial meetings, questions such as, why does my website not rank very high on Google? Am I targeting the right audience? Why have I not experienced growth through digital marketing in X number of years? Regularly came up. In an industry where budgets are often restricted, independent ticket sellers take the lion's share, and digital visibility for your own website comes at a cost, the path to growth doesn't always seem easy. And that's why for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you the most cutting-edge techniques that we use to overcome these hurdles and drive digital revenue for our transport clients. These will also help you to stand out, take market share, and of course, increase customer retention. I want you to get maximum value out of this talk and event here at Google. My name is Rachel Murray, and I am lead strategist for Fountain. We spent 9 years continually refining a process that takes the risk out of marketing for our clients. Google have awarded us twice for our methodology, once in 2016 for the Best Search Performance Award in Europe, the Middle East and Africa, and then in 2017 for Google's Global Award for Growing Businesses Online. But enough about us. Today is all about you guys. Having worked with a number of transport companies and spoken to your colleagues in the industry, I'm here today to address the 3 most pressing issues that have been raised to us. Number 1, identifying and reaching a wider relevant audience. Imagine if you could significantly increase digital revenue and reduce wasted media spend just by targeting the right audience. I'll be outlining our approach to this evening. And number 2, standing out and taking market share. How do you get ahead of the competition and pay less commission to independent ticket sellers by using advanced optimization strategies and Google betas? And 3, customer retention. How do you stay front of mind and shape the customer's perception of you in the right way? Before I address these issues tonight, some of the language I'm using will be a bit technical here and there. Most of you have probably already heard of it, but if you haven't, please do come chat to me at the end and I'll run through anything you don't understand. Okay? So number 1. So you've been running on the same keywords and audiences for a while now. They perform okay, but you've not seen growth in years, and you start asking yourself, is there a wider audience out there I could be targeting? Is there something else I could be doing? The biggest mistake in marketing is focusing on activities, not outcomes. And the most successful marketing campaigns begin with the end in mind. That's why whenever I first start working with any new clients, I always ask them 2 really important questions. How many new customers do you want? And how much do you want to pay for them? I then work backwards from the answers to these goals and then find a strategy in order to hit them. So how do we do this? Once I found out your cost per acquisition, so how much you're willing to pay for a customer, I can then look at the cost per clicks per channel or activity. And then once I've got these 2 most important numbers, we can then work out what the conversion rate required is in order to make the campaigns profitable. So just to show you the relationship between these 3 numbers. So say your cost per acquisition was £100, probably not for this industry, but say it was. Then the average cost per clicks across all channels are £1, then the conversion rate required on the website is 1%. So next time your marketing team or agency come to you and say, right, I've got some new activities to try, it's really exciting, make sure you keep in mind your cost per acquisition, get them to research the cost per clicks, and then work out the conversion rate required in order to make the campaigns profitable. If something isn't working, it's either because the cost per acquisition is too low or the conversion rate required is too high. At least you'll know where the problem in the funnel is. So once you've got your 3 most important numbers, it's time to start setting targets. So say you want 10,000 new ticket sales per month and you're willing to pay £3 for a ticket sale. This means your budget per calendar month is £30,000. Great. It's now time to start thinking about where your target audience are online. Are they on Google, Facebook, Twitter? Where are they most likely to respond to your advertising? The most obvious choice for this industry is Google. And one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen in the transport industry is sole reliance on brand bidding. And that's because it seems like the most risk-free option. However, if you've got these 3 most important numbers, then you'll know which keywords are viable to bid on. Before you do any campaign expansion, though, it's very, very important to forecast what return on investment you're going to receive. And that's why we have created the Digital Strategy Builder at Fountain. This allows you to forecast for every step of the process prior to campaign expansion. So for example, we put in your target sales, your lead to sale conversion rate, target cost per sale, and then it automatically generates our targets. So for example, the target sales, potential revenue, and the maximum budget we can spend on a monthly basis. Then we forecast by channel. So this is an example of our AdWords forecasting page. This is obviously for a different industry. I wouldn't want to share numbers. So we use tools such as Google Keyword Planner to input the keywords, the searches per month, and the cost per clicks. And then the rest is automatically generated from the goal set earlier in the day. So you've got the clicks per month, cost per month, sales, and cost per sale, including our management fee. So it's all set out prior to working with us. And then we do the same for every single channel. Great. So you've expanded your keywords, and already you're targeting a wider relevant audience. But what else can you do? It's time to get granular and start drilling down into that Google Analytics data and finding out who your core demographic is, who is currently buying from you. So many times I've seen the mistake in the transport industry of all the ads, the budget, the campaigns, everything being geared towards the wrong audience. And that's because the data hasn't been drilled into and everyone's just made an assumption. And as a result, conversion rate is really low, cost per acquisition is through the roof, and media spend is practically being thrown on the fire. Once you've got who your core demographic is, then you can make sure that you adjust your strategy accordingly. So you can do, for example, new demographic targeting. If your target audience is Liverpool, people travel from Liverpool Street, business travellers age 45 plus, make sure you've got a pay-per-click campaign targeting them. Make sure also you're using imagery that users can relate to. If you've assumed that your audience are retirees, but actually Google Analytics tells you it's students, make sure you change those image ads accordingly. Device bidding strategies. If Google Analytics tells you that most of your users are buying on mobile, make sure that your ads and landing pages are mobile optimized. Time of day bidding strategies. So say those 45-year-old businessmen are buying at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday every week, make sure that your name is the first one that they see when they do their Google search. And last but not least, Google beaters, such as in-market or affinity audiences. And once you've got all of these in place, your conversion rate will increase and your cost per acquisition will decrease. And of course, you'll be reaching a wider relevant audience. So what are these stats? So these stats are figures generated by implementing the keyword expansion strategy and granular targeting for a well-known train company who is in fact one of our clients. They got a 41% year-on-year increase in average monthly sales, a 30% year-on-year reduction in cost per acquisition, and a 27% year-on-year increase in conversion rate. So this brings us on to addressing our second issue, standing out and taking market share. I'll begin by talking about optimizing existing campaigns. So you've got thousands of keywords, hundreds of ad groups, hundreds of campaigns, and very limited human time. So say you're paying your agency £50 to £150 an hour. How are you best to utilize that resource? One of my favorite sayings here. Optimization is about prioritization. And that is because, as I'm sure you all know, not all customers are created equally. The Pareto principle can be applied to a lot of things, but it can also be applied to pay-per-click. And that is because 20% of your keywords you'll find is bringing 80% of your revenue. What a lot of people don't do is they don't square the Pareto principle. You'll find it's the 20% of the 20% which are bringing your biggest return. So that is a very, very small pool of keywords. And it's very important that you find out what that is early on so you can attribute more budget and optimization time. And that's why at Fountain we track the whole process, from impression to click to repeat buyer to raving fan. And it's really important that we generate as many of those raving fans as possible. So once you find out what those keywords are, you can dial up the click-through rate to get more clicks from them and dial up the conversion rate to get more sales from them. For those of you that are running pay-per-click, I'm sure you know that ad split testing is the success behind increasing click-through rate. It's the best methodology to get there. But if you are doing it, you'll also know it's quite a long process and can take a little while. And that's why at Fountain we've created scripts that allow us to test ad copy at scale across multiple ad groups and campaigns. Employing automation, it just allows for more time to focus on more granular tasks. It saves you guys money and it saves us time. 50, the magic number, and this is why we employ automation. So 50 is the magic number for getting the magic ad split test. You'll find that most ad split tests will get you about a 5%, maybe 4% click-through rate, but there'll be 45 of the ad split tests of the way in that will get you the magic 10%, and that is going to be your highest earner. So it's well worth investing the time into doing it. But if there is one thing that you take away from this evening, it's invest more in conversion rate optimization. So many people don't do it, but it is definitely going to be the marketing strategy that gets you the best return on investment. How many times do you think that Amazon have had a completely new website? Anybody? Any ideas? Never. They have never had a completely new website. And that's because it's constantly evolving. They're changing it all the time. So I did this presentation about 2 weeks ago now, and that was Amazon's website then. Then 2 days later, it's totally changed. They've got a banner image on there, a new one, some new offers. They put Christmas shop on there. It's constantly changing. And that's because if you have the highest converting website in your industry, then you can buy all the traffic. Let me tell you a story. So about 3 years ago now, a coach company came to us and I took the initial meeting and he was desperate and he said, right, I desperately need more traffic. I definitely need more traffic. My cost per acquisition is through the roof. I'm pumping money into digital marketing and I'm just about to give up on it, to be honest. And I said, right, hold your horses there. I'm not sure you definitely need more traffic. I think what you need is conversion rate optimization. And I was right, especially when I found out his cost per acquisition was through the roof. So the problem was his website conversion rate was 10% and it needed to be increased to see the revenue returns that he wanted to see. So over a period of 8 months, we dialed up the conversion rate to 30%. So he got 3 times the number of sales without any additional traffic. And you can see the effect that this has on bookings and revenue with little incremental increases in website conversion rate. So how do we do it? What's the magic? So first of all, we have a look at your Google Analytics data. We analyse the user journey, we see where people are going, what are they doing, is it what you want them to do, how much time are they spending on the website? But Google Analytics can only tell you so much, and that's why we combine it with user recording software. I'd strongly recommend Hotjar, that's probably my favourite one. And it's like looking over the shoulder of a user, watching them click around the website and seeing where they're going. And our conversion team watches hundreds of these recordings a day. And once you combine these 2 bits of data, you're instantly going to start identifying quick wins, such as perhaps your USPs are too low below the fold, so people are missing them. Maybe your timetable isn't clear enough. Maybe it's on a page where people aren't finding it. Maybe a banner image is being clicked on and it's not going anywhere. But you'll instantly start seeing those things to uplift conversion ASAP. Then we make longer-term hypotheses. So this could be actually a whole user journey needs revamping. But rather than saying, just go ahead and do it, we'll split test it for you, just to make sure that it will get you the conversion rate uplift you want to achieve. So we use tools such as Visual Website Optimizer or Google Optimizely to take a split test of your website, we make the change on the split test, and we run it against the original, 50-50. So you'll see that the conversion rate uplift that you want to achieve will happen with the split test. So to recap, attribute, find out who your keyword star players are that are producing those raving fans. Then dial up the conversion rate and the click-through rate so you get more of them. And this brings us on to our third and final issue this evening, customer retention. Are you the most trusted brand in the transport industry? What sort of emotions come up for your customers when they think of your brand? A lot of you will be communicating with your customers predominantly via email, but it's really important to offer them value via as many channels as possible. I also know that a lot of you are doing remarketing. I travel a lot for my job, so a lot of coach and train companies are following me around the internet at the moment. For those of you that aren't doing remarketing, so remarketing is when if I went onto a train company's website and then I left, and then someone can follow me around with my cookie data for up to 540 days. But what a lot of you guys don't do, and I've checked because I've clicked on a lot of your websites before you came here today, is you don't follow me around with something of value. So, for example, if I went on an offers page on one of your websites, the ad is not tailored to the offers page when it follows me around. It's just a generic ad. So really you should be offering me something of value, sort of a new deal I've not seen yet, for example. We can set up the remarketing on the following channels. So that's the Google Display Network, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn even. I'd recommend using all of them because people are going to be familiar with your brand and are more likely to engage with it. I'd also recommend doing partner remarketing. I know for having a lot of transport clients that a lot of you will have partners that you partner businesses. And just ask them if they'd mind you putting a bit of remarketing code on their website, and then you can benefit from their traffic as well, and vice versa. It's a win-win situation. The only caveat I would say with any content marketing strategy is just bear in mind what you're willing to pay for content. Obviously, it can be quite expensive. And everyone thinks content is king, so they put all the budget into that. But it's not. Profit is king. So just to recap, forecast first. Get your 3 most important numbers in place in order to reduce risk before campaign expansion. Then go beyond brand bidding and find out who your core customer is so you can target a wider relevant audience. Then attribute. Find out who your keyword star players are, and then dial up conversion rates so you get more sales from them. And last but not least, do a content strategy that offers value and helps you to stay front of mind in the right way. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. I hope you all got some value out of things that I said this evening, and I look forward to chatting with you all later over a glass of wine. Thanks very much.